So many car brands have subcompact SUVs, and the Kia Sportage is often quite forgotten. But now Kia has gone and revamped their 2023 and 2024 model, making this vehicle something that might actually be worth your option. So today I'm going to be going over some of the things they changed and why this car might actually be a good option. My name's Jason and you're watching God and X. Now we're going to break down the Kia Sportage in 3 easy steps, starting with looks. When you come to the front of the SUV, this is where a lot of the big changes have occurred. If you look at one of the older Sportages, they kind of look bland, basic, and a bit boring. But Kia has kind of gone out of their way to make this car look a lot more modern, and I think it's a little bit more attention-grabbing up front at least. You have these very, very sharp headlights, you have a very sharp grille. Overall, it just feels very sharp and aggressive for an SUV, and it kind of catches you off guard coming from Kia. I think it looks really, really good. My one big complaint though on the outside is I don't think anywhere else really had that much of a touch-up. Everywhere else though, I do think this car looks a little bit bland and boring, and I think it just skipped out on the memo. I think you could have done a little bit more with indents or something along those lines to kind of just keep the car feeling new, modern, and improved throughout. That might be about it for the outside when it comes to looks, but let's take a quick look at the interior revamp and see how it's going. Now, under the looks of the interior, there are going to be a few things that just kind of stand out. It did get a revamp, and it does look a little bit better than the 2022 model, but overall, it's nothing crazy. I think some of the screens look a little bit tackier, and a lot of things just don't really feel like they fall into place, but overall, it's not terrible. I think it's definitely a pay for what you get kind of feeling, and I don't think that's bad, especially for a car that is under $30,000. Now, if looks aren't really the biggest deal for you, let's talk about some of the comfort features that are going to be included in the Kia Sportage. First and foremost, we are in the most basic level of the Kia that you can get in. This is why this one is going to be so dirt cheap. But we're going to talk about some of the features that you can get in one of these, because you can pick and choose what you're going to want if you do end up getting one of these. First, this car can come equipped with cooled and heated seats, which is definitely a nice luxury. They come standard with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The infotainment screen is honestly a little bit more responsive than I would have expected, but it is a little bit goofier to look at. I still am not a complete fan. I'm not completely sold on it, but it definitely does do its job. Overall, the seats are a lot comfier than you'd expect. I think that's one of the big things that I would like to endorse on this vehicle. I think some of the materials can feel plasticky and cheap all around, but I think the seats really nail home what you want. You are comfortable in these seats, and I think it's a great seat overall. Continuing on to some of the comfort features that you can have in this vehicle, we're going to talk about some of the driving upgrade features that you can get. This car can come equipped with adaptive cruise control, it can come with blind spot monitoring, it can come with lane assist. There are a bunch of things that this vehicle can come equipped with, but you will have to shell out a little bit of more money to make it worth it. I personally think going for the options is going to be a lot better than skimping on them, but that is just going to be a person by person basis. Overall, I do think this car does a good job being what a compact SUV should be. For road trips and longer trips in general, you definitely want to know how this vehicle feels to drive. And I'm going to say that this vehicle drives pretty well. I think the suspension rides pretty smoothly, but overall, I don't think you're going to get anything too crazy. I know that this vehicle lacks horsepower, and you can definitely feel that when driving, but overall, it gets the job done, and I think that is the main takeaway when it comes to the driving experience. Now, with all the theatrics put aside, let's talk about one of the most important things with any vehicle, and that's going to be its practicality. Now, let's start underneath the hood. You have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that creates 182 horsepower, which honestly is going to be a little bit lacking. I think that is one of the biggest things that is going to be a struggle on this SUV, is you're going to be lacking horsepower quite frequently. I feel like this engine does a decent job and it can get you through your daily life, but definitely it is going to be the weakest part about this SUV. We're going to talk about something else that brings practicality to the Kia, and that is going to be Kia's warranty that they offer on any of their new vehicles, which is going to be a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And I mean, that thing alone can sell a vehicle like this, because if you are using this as your daily driver and you're trying to save money, it is definitely incredibly nice to have something that completely backs and covers a lot of this vehicle so you can feel safe and comfortable when driving. Now let's talk about one more big practical feature of this vehicle, and it's going to be the storage space. In the back of the trunk, you have 39.6 cubic feet of cargo space, and by gosh, is that a fantastic amount. I mean, that is one thing that this car definitely does a great job on. It is making sure you have enough room to carry whatever you need to go on road trip. And it definitely pushes this vehicle a bit further in my ranking, because I think this does what the SUV should do. Now, is the Kia Sportage worth getting? That is going to be the #1 question that you're going to have when looking at a vehicle like this. And honestly, I kind of think it is. With the price point you can get one of these at, under $30,000 is definitely amazing for a vehicle like this. I know a lot of people definitely do not have the money to throw around and get a luxury SUV, and this one does the job perfectly. I think there are a few things that you do have to look out for when going into a vehicle like this. It's going to be a little bit lower quality, and that's okay. These cars are meant to be practical and get you where you need to be easily, safely, and happily. I personally think that this is a good buy, and I think Kia has done a good job making it that way. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you guys think that this is a waste of money, please do tell us. I'd love to hear your opinions. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.